Happy to announce you that our live streaming has successful, and we have our YouTube live password link ready available. I am posting this link to our college website, and after that I will post the link to all the groups. सोलंकी सर, happy to announce you that I have successfully shared the YouTube link with all our 2,500 participants on various groups in WhatsApp and through Telegram groups. Now I am waiting for 4 o'clock to begin. Before that, once everything is ready, then I will share Zoom meeting room with other participants. There are 20 participants right now with us. भाऊ आपल्यासोबत आता 80 पार्टिसिपंट्स आहे. हा भाऊ आपल्यासोबत आता 20 पार्टिसिपंट आलेले आहे.
हो ना, मग 4 वाजेला तुम्ही सुरू करणार ना?
हो हो
मी तुम्हाला 4 साडेचार ला जॉईन होईल.
हो
कंटिन्यू करा, मला डिस्कनेक्ट करा.
नाही तोपर्यंत आपल्याला हे असंच ठेवावं लागेल, नाही तर 4 वाजता रूम मध्ये जागा नसेल.
ओके,
हा तो प्रॉब्लेम येऊन जातो.
भक्कड सर आपण जागा करून द्यायची.
आपण रिमूव्ह करू ना 1-2 जणांना.
तसं करायचं.
हा
चालेल चालेल.
मला डिस्कनेक्ट करा.
हो हो. Our chief guest is also joined with us. I am now mic testing. Vivek sir, are you there? आवाज
हो सर, येतोय आवाज. येतोय.
चालेल. मी आपल्याला अनम्यूट केलं होतं आता, तर आता परत म्यूट करतोय. 4 वाजता आपला कार्यक्रम सुरू होईल. त्यानंतर सुरुवात राष्ट्रगीतापासून होईल आणि त्यानंतर प्राचार्य सरांच्या मेसेज नंतर लगेच आपलं भाषण असेल. पण आम्ही
विवेक
प्राचार्य सर
स्वागत करतो वेबिनारला आणि धन्यवाद आमचं निमंत्रण स्वीकारलं.
विवेक सर, कॅन यू सी अवर पीपीटी? तुमचा फोटो दिसतोय तिथं?
यस. हो दिसतोय.
चला, ओके सर, थँक्यू. यू कॅन म्यूट युअर सेल्फ. हो प्लीज. थँक्यू. Principal sir, now I am sharing the Zoom meeting ID with other participants.
Okay.
It is okay. व्हाईस प्रिन्सिपल सर जॉईन झालेले नाही अजून. हा आले, दिनेश पाटील सर आहे.
महेंद्र पाटील
आहे. डी पाटील सर आपण बोला काहीतरी.
मी आहे सर.
आहे चालेल. थँक्यू सर. नाही कसं आहे.
थँक्यू.
बक्कड सर.
हो सर.
YouTube लिंक ऍक्टिव्हेट झालेली आहे ऑनलाईन साठी.
चला, थँक्यू सर.
लाईव्ह स्ट्रीमिंग झाली.
चालेल. Dear participant, happy to announce you that our YouTube link is successfully uploaded on our college website also. The link is already shared with the participant in different groups. Now our YouTube Zoom meeting room is also getting full. There is 30 participants and the other are waiting in waiting room. I am admitting all. within 2 minutes we एव्हरी डे 2च दिवसात आपला मीटिंग रूम फुल होतोय. Our meeting room is full now. There are 100 participants joined in our meeting, and now 400 participants are live with us on YouTube. YouTube count is 400 and Zoom count is 100. So we have successfully, it is 3:50 now, we have 10 minutes. Dear participants, we have 10 minutes right now to start the webinar. We have already streaming live on YouTube. No, now I am waiting for 4 p.m. Before that, simply take 3-4 participant feedback live. So you can raise your hand. I will come to you and you can give your participant feedback. Just 3-4 participants can give their feedback live because we have 10 minutes. And once it is 4, I will start our meeting. So if anyone interested to do live feedback in Hindi or English, they can raise your hands. Okay. No hands raised. Pradhapak Manisha Gaikwad, please say something about our webinar. You are live now. There are 700 participants listening you, 100 on Zoom and 600 on YouTube. Please continue. You are unmuted now. Manisha Gaikwad, ma'am.
Yes, I am audible, sir.
Yeah, continue, ma'am, please.
Thank you, sir. Myself, Manisha Gaikwad. I am happy to share my participation feedback today as live before you. First of all, I am thankful to SPDM College for organizing such a wonderful event during the lockdown period. I actively participated in this webinar. The arrangement, the video voucher, webinar website page is really too good. I never seen before any webinar links, certificates, and feedback available at a single page. We are getting everything from the single website only. Daily I am visiting the college website and downloading my certificate. It is really a user-friendly website. I congratulate Dr.D.D.Bhakkad Bhakkad sir for its great efforts, and I also thankful to Principal sir and his team for this such a wonderful webinar series. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. I am moving next to Principal Dr. Srinivas Joshi, sir. Please continue
Hello.
with your feedback. Yes, sir.
Hello. I initially congratulate Honorable Randhe Sahib, Convener and best anchor, my dear friend Dr. Bhakkad, my dear friend Principal Dr.S.N.Patel sir, and your technical team. You have presented the great, studious and curious research persons, and they have delivered a beautiful speech and presentation. I really appreciate your nice coordination, which leads by your Honorable Principal Dr. S.N.Patel sir. Overall, the webinar going on is nice and beautiful. Wish you all the best for your remaining sessions in near future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words. You can mute yourself, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Moving to next, Dr. Seema Bari ma'am.
झालं ते चालू
Dr. Seema Bari ma'am.
मीटिंग का हा मीटिंग तर रोज असते ना 4 वाजता
जाऊ मॅडमचं
बाकीच्यांना म्यूट करा.
हा हा नाही त्यांनाच म्यूट केलं होतं पण त्यांनी हात वर केलेला आहे.
नाही आवाज येतोय बाकी.
हा हा Dr. Smita ma'am, please continue. Dr. Smita ma'am, you are unmuted now. Continue please.
हेलो
yes
सर, नमस्कार.
डॉक्टर विदाता.
नमस्कार, मैं डॉक्टर ईश्वर प्रसाद राम प्रसाद जी विदाता, दयानंद कॉमर्स कॉलेज लातूर. सर, आपका जो ये वेबिनार है 12 तारीख से जो शुरू है, मैं कह दूं कि एक नया प्रयास आपके द्वारा जो किया जा रहा है. आज तक मैंने बहुत सारे वेबिनार किए हैं, लेकिन ऐसे देखा गया है कि बहुत सारी बातों के लिए हमें ढूंढना पड़ता है, बार बार फोन लगाना पड़ता है. लेकिन एक अच्छी बात आपके वेबिनार में दिखाई दी SPDM के, कि सब कुछ जानकारी आप आपके वेबसाइट पर दे रहे हो. दूसरी बात कि जैसे ही मैंने रजिस्ट्रेशन की, पहली बार तो मुझे किसी ग्रुप में आपने ज्वाइन किया, लेकिन आपने से बात हुई और आपने कहा कि सर हमारी वेबसाइट पर सब कुछ जानकारी है, आप वहां से ज्वाइन हो सकते हो. तो वो सुनकर एक अच्छी बात लगी, चलो भाई कि कोई भी बंदा आसानी से आपके इस वेबिनार से जुड़ सकता है. दूसरी बात कि आपके द्वारा जो जो प्रयास किए जा रहे हैं, मैं कह दूं कि ये नया जो टेक्नोलॉजी का प्रयोग आपके द्वारा किया जा रहा है, वो है निश्चित ही काबिल तारीफ है. और इस कारणवश मैं ये कोरोना का अभी जो संकट पूरे भारतवर्ष पर है, ऐसे संकट में भी आप अलग अलग समस्याओं को जूझते हुए जो हमारी ज्ञान की गंगा है उसको अविरत रखने का प्रयास आपके SPDM कॉलेज की ओर से, आपके प्रिंसिपल सर होंगे, आप होंगे और आपकी पूरी टीम होंगे, इनके द्वारा हो रहा है. आपके द्वारा जो अलग अलग जानकारियां, नया सीखने के लिए जो कुछ मिल रहा है, वो निश्चित ही मैं कह दूं कि काबिल तारीफ. और मैं आपका, पूरी टीम का और साथ ही आपके प्रिंसिपल, आपके जो प्रेरणा स्थान रहे हैं, उनका निश्चित ही आभार ज्ञापित करता हूँ. धन्यवाद सर.
थैंक यू सर, आपने बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से हिंदी में जानकारी दी. आप अपने आप को म्यूट करेंगे अभी तुरंत प्लीज. थैंक यू. Participant, we have 3 minutes right now. I can take one more feedback and then we have to start our session. So just single feedback. अच्छा, इथं आहे, इथं नाही, इथं नाही, ठीक आहे, ते डिलीट करतो.
सुधा राणी सिंग फॉर्म
हा
मिरर.
चालेल, एक मिनिट. सुधाना कोल्हापूर युनिव्हर्सिटी वरून अभिजित पाटील सर. अभिजित पाटील सर, हा प्लीज बोला सर. आप आणि फटक्यात बोला, 4 वाजतील सर, आपल्याला कार्यक्रम सुरू करायचा आहे.
SPDM कॉलेजच्या वतीनं हा जो वेबिनार सीरियल जो ली गई है वो बहुत ही अच्छी है. और इसमें जो आज का जो तीसरा चौथा सेशन चल रहा है, यहाँ पे पूरे सेशन जो है वो बहुत ही अच्छे हुए हैं. और जो ज्ञान मिला है पूरे सेशन में से वो बहुत ही जरूरी है. आज ये कोरोना का असर चल रहा है, इसमें लॉकडाउन होते हुए भी आपने जो ये सेमिनार के आयोजन किया है, इसलिए मैं आपको बधाई देना चाहता हूँ, आपकी पूरी टीम.
Thank you sir. Please mute yourself. Mr. Gaurav Kumar, please. Gaurav Kumar. Kumar Gaurav. Okay, no problem. स्क्रीन खराब होऊन जाते. आपण बघू शकता पार्टिसिपंट एवढ्या गडबडीत सुद्धा स्क्रीन चेंज करायची काही ठिकाणी राहून जाते माझ्याकडून. ओके, नाउ इट इज ओके. It's 4 o'clock right now. It's 4 o'clock right now. I welcome you one and all at this series of national level webinar. At this series of national level webinar organized by Kisan Vidya Prasarak Sanstha, SPDM Arts, Commerce, Science College, Shirpur through its internal quality assurance cell. My special welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Vivek Lohar, and our resource person, Dr. Vijay Khare sir, who both presents live here with us. Before moving further, I would like to request you all to be rise for national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा. विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा. तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे. गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Dear participant, myself, Dr.D.D.Bhakkad, Chief Convener, Anchor and Host for this series of national level webinar. Today, that is 15th May 2020, we gathered here to attend webinar organized by IQAC and Department of Defense and Strategic Studies on the topic post-COVID geopolitics and global order. Before moving further, let me brief you about the faculty members of the college. I had already briefed you about Kisan Vidya Prasarak Sanstha and college in my earlier session. Now it's time to brief you about the college faculties. As you know, freedom fighter, Gandhian patriotic Karmavir Venkatrao Randhir started this higher education college in Shirpur on 20th June 1962. It is the premier academic institution of this tribal region. We had proud to say that out of our 48 permanent faculty members, there are 30 faculties having PhD and MPhil degree, and 20 faculty members are recognized PhD guide of our university. They are guiding their doctoral students. This year, near about 2,200 students admitted in various disciplines. Our college and all Kisan Vidya Prasarak Sanstha got a new look, a modern pattern under the leadership of our current president, Honorable Tusharji Nande. As you know, this series of national level webinar started on 12th May with their message. our series of national level webinar inaugurated by Professor P.P. Maulikar sir, Pro Vice Chancellor of Kaviyatri Bainabai Chaudhary, Uttar Maharashtra Vidyapit Jalgaon. On the first day, it is our privilege to have such inaugurator. Now moving towards webinar. Today's webinar, Dr. Dharmadhikari Madam is the convener and Dr. Kamble sir is co-convener. I welcome both of you, sir. I also welcome webinar organizing chairman, principal Dr. S.N.Patel sir and webinar secretary Professor D.B. Patil sir, Dr. M.V. Patil sir. Now I request our principal Dr. S.N.Patel sir to give introductory remark. Sir, you can unmute yourself. Continue, sir, please. You are unmuted now.
Yeah. First of all, I am thanking to all you for your huge support today. Today, the fourth day of our national webinar organized by our IQAC and Department of Defense Studies. I am thankful to our President, Honorable Tusharji Rande, and his address at Inauguration Day and yesterday live streaming. I am also thankful to Professor P.P. Mahulikar sir, who inaugurated our series of national level webinar on 12th of May. For today's session, we have Mr. Vivek Lohar as chief guest. I am proud that Mr. Lohar is our alumni of Department of Commerce. He did his M.Com from our college and presently he is Management Council member of our university. Dr. Vijay Khare is our resource person for today's webinar from Pune University. I am thankful both of you for our acceptance of invitation. I hope today's session will help you to understand how geopolitics will after COVID pandemic and how global order reflects the same. We are ready with the active participant award, which is limited for 100 participants only. Dr. Bhakkad, Dr. Pratai, and Professor Solanki are in charge of the activity. They are really showing their efforts as well as innovative ideas to complete the webinar in a smart way. Now, I will not take too much time. I also want to listen the lecture by our resource person. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay home. Follow the instruction of the government during this COVID crisis. Stay connected with us till tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your introductory remark. Dear participant, we had Mr. Vivek Lohar, Management Council member, Kaviyatri Bainabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, as a chief guest for today's webinar. I request Professor Solanki sir to release the message.
नमस्कार, मी विवेक दिलीप लोहार, शिरपूर, व्यवस्थापन परिषद सदस्य, कवयित्री बहिणाबाई चौधरी, उत्तर महाराष्ट्र विद्यापीठ जळगाव. सध्याच्या तणावाच्या आणि कठीण प्रसंगी आपण सर्वजण सुरक्षित असालाच. किसान विद्या प्रसारण संस्थेचे SPDM महाविद्यालय शिरपूर यांनी 5 दिवसीय राष्ट्रीय वेबिनारचे आयोजन करून आपला सर्वांना ज्ञानाचा खजाना उपलब्ध करून दिले आहे. आजचे होणारे व्याख्यान आपल्या सर्वांसाठी एक पर्वणीच असणार आहे, कारण विषय तसा काळाला अनुरूप आहे. आजच्या सत्रामध्ये आपणास एक चांगले व्यक्तिमत्व मार्गदर्शन करणार आहे. मी आपल्या सर्वांचे कवयित्री बहिणाबाई चौधरी, उत्तर महाराष्ट्र विद्यापीठ जळगाव आणि SPDM कॉलेज शिरपूर तर्फे स्वागत करतो. अतिशय उत्तम असा प्लॅटफॉर्म आपल्या सर्वांना या लॉकडाऊनमध्ये फायदा देऊन जाईल. या राष्ट्रीय वेबिनारचे आयोजक SPDM कॉलेजचे प्राचार्य Dr.S.N. पटेल सर, NAC समितीचे व या वेबिनारचे समन्वयक Dr.D.D. भक्कड आणि संपूर्ण स्टाफचे मी अभिनंदन करतो आणि सर्वांना शुभेच्छा देतो. आपण सर्वजण सुरक्षित राहा, आरोग्यदायी राहा, या शुभेच्छा. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, Solanki sir, for the message. Participant, early morning, Mr. Vivek Joshi already sent this message to us, but I am thankful to Mr. Vivek Lohar who came live with us. So now I request Mr. Vivek Lohar sir to please say few words to the audience as live message. Sir, you are unmuted now. You can say something.
नमस्कार. आपण आत्ताच माझा व्हिडिओ मेसेज ऐकलात. काही तांत्रिक अडचणी येऊ नयेत म्हणून सकाळीच व्हिडिओ रेकॉर्ड करून पाठवून दिले होते. पण आता मला इथे लाईव्ह बोलताना खूप आनंद होत आहे, कारण याच महाविद्यालयाचा विद्यार्थी आहे. आपल्या महाविद्यालयाने राष्ट्रीय स्तरावरील वेबिनारचे आयोजन करून अतिशय उत्तम भूमिका या कठीण प्रसंगी बजावली आहे. या वेबिनारचे सर्व लेक्चर्स यूट्यूबवर बघितले आहेत. अतिशय उत्तम वक्ते, उत्तम नियोजन आणि यशस्वी संयोजन करून महाविद्यालयाने एक नाविन्यपूर्ण उपक्रम राबवला आहे. या कार्यक्रमाचे समन्वयक Dr.D.D. भक्कड हे अतिशय मेहनत घेत आहेत. त्यामुळे तसेच प्राचार्य सर S.N. पटेल सर यांचे पूर्ण टीमचे मी अभिनंदन करतो व शुभेच्छा देतो. धन्यवाद.
Thank you sir for your live message as well as your video message. Thank you very much. You can mute yourself. Thank you sir. Moving forward. Now it is time to move towards our resource person. I request our convener Dr. Dharmadhikari madam to introduce our resource person to the audience. Over to you, Dharmadhikari ma'am.
Thank you sir. Good evening.
Continue ma'am, you are audible. Continue.
Thank you sir. Good evening everyone. I welcome all dignitaries and participants for today's webinar. I am Dr. Kavita Dharmadhikari, Head, Department of Defense and Strategic Studies. I am very thankful to our President, Honorable Tusharji Randhe, Treasurer, Honorable Ashatai Randhe, Principal, Dr. S.N. Patel, Webinar Secretary, Dr. M.V. Patil and D.B. Patil, Chief Convener, Dr. D.D. Bhakkad for organizing this webinar. I am also thankful to Mr. Vivek Lohar, Member of Management Council, Kavitri Bahinabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, for being the chief guest for today's webinar. As we all know that Corona crisis has affected physical, psychological, socio-economic, educational, industrial, geopolitical, geostrategical, security, and many more sectors of the society. So this topic is top of the hour. Topic today is post-COVID geopolitics and global order. I am glad to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Vijay Khare. Dr. Vijay Khare is Head, Department of Defense and Strategic Studies, Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Director, International Center, Director of Yashwantrao Chauhan, National Center of International Security and Defense Analysis, as well as Director of Department of Ambedkar Studies and Coordinator of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Adhyasan, Savitribai Phule, Pune University. He is also awarded with the young social scientist for his research work. He has completed more than 6 research projects as well as 13 books are published. I am thankful to Dr. Vijay Khare for joining us today. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I request our resource person, sir, to please share the PPT. Sir, you can unmute yourself. You are co-host and you can share your PPT, please.
Okay. Are you getting my PPT?
Yes, sir. No problem. Yes, sir.
Shall I start?
Please, sir. Thank you very much.
Let me congratulate SPDM College management people, Honorable Principal Dr.S.N.Patel sir, Management Committee Chairman Mr. Tushar Rande, Head Department of Defense and Strategic Studies Dr. Dharmadikari Madam, Convener of this today's lecture, co-convener Dr. Surendra Kamble, Dr. Dinesh Bhakkad, and Mr. Vivek Lohar, who is the Management Council member of Kavitri Bainabai Chaudhary, North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon. It's my proud privilege and that is the opportunity to share my thoughts with you on post-COVID geopolitics and global order. Before going to deal with my main topic, once again, I'm thankful to for organizing such kind of event. I know that this kind of event is going everywhere. Most of the higher education educator, they are conveying messages through online and sharing knowledge, sharing thoughts among each other. And that is the beauty of new kind of technology where people are sharing their ideas and thoughts. At the outset, uh, I'm very happy. Yesterday, I did a lecture on challenges and opportunity in e-learning and higher education, which was organized by Sakri, Geopolitics College Sakri, and today with the SPDM College SHIRPUR. Basically, why both of them invited me because I belongs to the same district, Sakri place, and I did my education in Sakri. And when SPDM college comes in my mind, I always remind my days when I was a student of junior college Sakri, and I participated matches in SPDM college in 86, 87, and that was the time where Vishwasrao Rande and all people were cherished us. So that was a long history. But again, I got a good opportunity to share my thoughts with you on post-COVID geopolitics and global order. Let me uh, highlight few points. What will be a global order after 6 months? People are talking about a number of issues, particularly in higher education. We all are in higher education, so we are thinking about what will happen. What is the future? Take example of 2021. So what will be the global order? So post-COVID global order and defense strategy and geopolitics will somehow there will be change. First, at the international environment, what will be the change? There will be an importance of healthcare system. So far, weapons of mass destruction were an important strategic player to manage to control global security order. But now, you all aware that Americans, United States of America, and European states, where they have weapons of mass destruction with them, but they are not managing properly the COVID-19. So there will be a relevance. There will be a importance of healthcare system along with the economic capability as well as the military capability. Then second change will come, the balance of power will shift from collective security system to individual security. So after First World War, League of Nations was established, and the main objective of League of Nations to maintain international peace and security on the line of collective security system. Then after Second World War, there is a United Nations was established in the main agenda, that is to maintain international peace and security through the collective security mechanism, where although there are the challenges are there, but at least somehow we can say how to tackle with the climate change issue as well as the peace and security issue. But look at the COVID, during the COVID period, and what will happen in future. Take an example of recent meeting in European Union, where all European states came together and they discussed to each other, and particularly there was reservations raised by Italy and Spain, that how other European states were not thought about Spain and Italy when coronavirus was in peak period. So there was a thinking about the individual nationalistic. And take example of before that, Brexit is the classic example. So what I'm saying here, when I take a outline, the balance of power is going to shift from collective security system to individual security system, where each and every state will focus on individual security mechanism, including military capability, economic capability, and healthcare system. Then people are talking about US and China, but what will happen about that? Already there is a trade war between China and US, and what will future of that? In my understanding, both will remain as it is. They both will remain a global power. Both remain as an important strategic player. Look at the economic capability, American economic capability, as well as Russian, Chinese economic capability. They have more than the 20 plus $1 trillion economy. So for them, COVID-19 will not affect that much. But in terms of Chinese hegemony in Asia, there are 6 important indicators has emerged at global level. If China has managed that one, then China has a very bright future in future also, as well as in present time. Which are the 6 indicators? One is how China managed the Taiwan, how China managed the Tibet, Manchuria, Mongolia, Hong Kong, and Xinjiang province. So these are the 6 political and ethnic issues, along with the US trade war and other global issues with the China. But China is trying to manage that one. And last one is the always I'm saying that there will be a complete divide between the skilled manpower versus unskilled manpower, and the emergence of digital economy and material economy will change a complete paradigm shift in terms of peace, security, and higher education. Now, having said that, there will be a paradigm shift in defense and security strategy also. But before that, you must understand what is a CBRN. Means people are talking about only COVID-19. But what is a CBR? Chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear threats and the present pandemic that we need to understand. And then I'll focus on what is geostrategic and geopolitics implication and what is India's response. Before that, you have to understand that post-COVID international order, next 6 months, there will be a zero migration from one place to other places. Even we are sitting at one places and sharing our ideas to each other and managing our administrative as well as the academic work. So there is hardly any possibility in the coming future that there is a zero migration. There will be a zero migration at global level, at national level, as well as in regional level. So that is one important aspect. Then Due to COVID, take example of India, particularly migration labor, what kind of issues we are facing. Government of India launched a new scheme with the name of Atmanirbhar or self-reliance with the 20,000 crore package. But are we really giving a justice to this migrant labor? And there will be a complete paradigm shift in terms of population as well as the demography, and particularly country like India, we will have a tough time to come out with this complicated or critical phase. Then skill-based migration may happen, particularly a white scholar. Look at the US strategy. US is inviting only the academician as well as those who are involved in a healthcare system. Rest of the people, they are not allowing the people from IT sectors. Their green card and the citizenship are waiting for next 20 years. They have the wait list. But the Americans are inviting only white scholar, skilled manpower in terms of healthcare system as well as in education sector. Then in Asian commitment take example from First World War to present situation, we believe on alliance system. Means India always talked about the collective security mechanism. We never use our individualistic approach, although we keep our national interests as always first priority. But while dealing with global international peace and security, we always talked about to the alliance system, and that alliance system make be alive in Asian context. And then what is new thing is coming up, that is the individual nation state will emerge with the narrow thinking. So tomorrow, take example of Trump administration always talked about US first or America first. They never thought about other. Even the US is already withdrawal from the different treaties, and also that they stop the financial assistance to WHO or World Health Organization. So this is a individual narrow thinking is coming up, and most important is in the post-COVID there will be a fantastic thinking will come out. The people will come out. People will come out with the very different ideas. Someone will come out with that. Look, now entire education system will start online, but that will not happen online if the SPDM college invested more than 50 crore on buildings, and if you start online education system, then what will happen of that buildings? What will happen of the people who are working on that? So these are the threats of the online education, particularly survival of the people, survival of the management, survival of the education institution, as well as the quality of the student. You may get a good quality education through online, but the in terms of enrollment, who will get the benefit of that? So that is important, because a college like SPDM or Geopolitics college, Sakri, or any other college related to that particular area, Dhadgaon or other places, a student coming from the different background. So online education will be not a complete solution, but there will be a fantastic thinking is emerging after post-COVID. I'll not deal with that today. I'll just talk about geopolitics and global order. Now, again, when you talked about fantasy thinking, there will be a disruption in supply and demand. Even in Maharashtra, we are facing a disruption of supply and demand. There will be limitations on travel, sports, hotel tourism, and particular tourism sector will take time. Digital and material economy will create new inequality. Let me particularly those who are educated or the higher education institution, they must understand what will happen, particularly those who are coming from the rural places, what is their future, particularly our generation will survive, but what about next generation? What is their challenges? How they can manage that challenges, and how we will come out from this space. But there is a positive things from this COVID-19. What is the positive things? Take example of today. We are using, if COVID-19 was not a situation, maybe we could not organize such kind of webinar. So we saved our money. We saved without spending too much money on this kind of webinar, we are sharing our knowledge to each other. So there is a positive impact of post-COVID. There will be a digital meetings will used by most of the institution, where you are spending an amount on travel, DA, and other purposes. You can save that money. Then there will be a restriction on travel. If you are not traveling from Shirpur to Jalgaon, and you are just using Zoom meetings, it means you are also saving the petrol, diesel, as well as the environment. So at the global level, there is a positive outcome will come, and that will help to the climate change from post-COVID. But it is not like a push button. It will take time to adjust with this environment. People like us, even we are not adjusting with this modern technology, and it will take time with that. And then come to the India healthcare system, where healthcare system is playing important role because of the public healthcare system is so strong in that context, particularly. Although there is probably in month of May, in month of June, July, there will be another kind of threat will come, but there is a issue, but somehow we are managing. Now, come to the CBRN. When you talk about the CBRN, I said CBRN is particularly chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear weapons. And this COVID is a part of biological weapons. You have to understand that. Let me first come to the what is the CBRN. Basically, CBRN are a weaponized and or non-weaponized material, and it cause great harm and pose significant threat to humankind. Most of the terrorist organization, they possesses such kind of weapons, and entire global community was aware about that, and they were threatened from the non-state actors. But very few research was conducted on CBRN, particularly radiological weapon and biological weapon. So this is a very difficult task for us to understand the CBRN. Although Indian Army has a specialized branch to understand such kind of event, particularly CBRN and disaster management. This is one kind. I'll just come to the I'll give a brief glance of CBRN to come to the nuclear weapons. Take an example of disaster from the nuclear weapons. We had an experience in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which was bombed dropped by Americans in 6th August 1945 and 9th August 1945. And later we realized that after this disaster, world was divided in two parts. One is with the capitalist democracy led by America, and one is the Soviet Union. Then Soviet Union was collapsed. But during that period from 1945 to 1990, that time each state, particular developed state, they tried to possess a nuclear hegemony. And we all aware that there are the 5 states, particularly those are the P5 states in United Nations Security Council. They possess a nuclear weapon state. They call it themselves as a nuclear weapon state. But India, we had a nuclear test in 1974, and then 1998, 5 nuclear tests, and then the same month Pakistan also conducted a 6 nuclear tests, and India and Pakistan is maintaining a nuclear capability parity in terms of nuclear capability. So this is a history of nuclear capability. Look at the globe. There are the 5 states: US, UK, China, Russia, France. They are the nuclear officially declared by a global community that they have nuclear weapons. Then India and Pakistan also accepted by world community that India and Pakistan also having a nuclear weapon state. And there are the suspected countries where they possesses nuclear weapons, but they are not coming with on reality. That are the 3 states: North Korea, Israel, and Iran. So these are the 3 states where we call it as a suspected. Now come to the biological weapons, because this is without understanding this kind of structure, it will be difficult. Now biological, when we talk about the biological weapon, this is a disease from the biological atom, particularly there are different types of bacteria, virus, fungi, toxins, and it rooted through the skin's digestive tract or breathing route. And we have idea about the Spanish flu, then anthrax powder used by the non-state actor after 9/11, and then small pox or the chicken pox, we call it, also used by the American natives. Uh, we had that history, but there are this factor very important. Look at the ancient time also. They use this one, means from ancient time to till date there are uses by the uh, several actors of nuclear means biological weapon. Uh, from ancient times to present date, in 1347, throwing the dead bodies of plague victims in walled city of Haifa in Israel. Then 18th century, they gifted blankets with the smallpox victims in natives in America. Then 1930s, in 30s, Russia used choleras against Japanese, and there were around 2,000 men dead and 5,000 were infected. And even in a Second World War, Japan used biological weapons in North China. Then again in 1951-53, USA used biological weapons in North Korea, and we all aware that anthrax in a post 9/11 anthrax is. So here, let me come to the advantage of the biological weapon. It is so easy to discuss about the post-COVID. Even most of the people talks about the post-COVID issue, but how we could manage this kind of weapons. Now, first, when we talk about the advantage of biological weapon, if you purchase the biological weapon, then the first is it is a very highly poisonous. Means you look at the global communities blaming to China that this was a case known to one laboratory as well as the Chinese expert, and they have deliberately sprayed coronavirus, and through coronavirus China want to uh, develop, or China want to emerge as a global power with economic capability, and lot of things is discussed on that. But when we talked about uh, advantage, I said it's a highly poisonous, then easier to store, handle, and disseminate. Means look at the history, the people they can easily store that viruses, and it is easy to control and disseminate from one place to other places. So this is a real concern for us. Then they're effective through all routes of entry. Means no one knows that where is virus. Even today, no one imagined that such kind of virus will shake into global community. Means country like US and the five nuclear state, they were thought earlier that they are possessing nuclear weapons. Means they can destroy to anyone while sitting at one place by using a push button. But now they are not understanding where is virus. So this is a advantage of biological weapons. It is uh, effective through all routes of entry in nature, in a virus in air, and through that you can control that. Then difficult to detect and identify the treat. So this is an advantage, but what is a disadvantage? Particularly when we talk about disadvantage, this dependent on weather, temperature, wind, and humidity. Why the Indian government is managing this virus? Because we got a good temperature, we got a good weather, and somehow the cases is not increasing. But the moment month of June and July will start, then our cases will increase like other Western country, United States of America. So, the way this is now death ratio is increasing as well as the infected people are increasing. That because of the disadvantage of biological weapon. So this is one kind of argument. Then effects not entirely predictable. Means what will happen? What is the future of ours? Means we are saying that we need to change our lifestyle. We need to change our day-to-day activity. We need to change in our education system, but we don't know. We are not. No one is going to predict what will happen. Even if there will be a proper medicine will come out with the different immunity will you can develop. But next issue particularly effects are not entirely predictable, potentially uncontrollable, and that is a disadvantage. And these biological weapons are very slow to act, and it is particularly focuses on uh, response to public health. Now, come to the coronavirus. I don't know why people now directly, most of the people talks or blaming to China. China is the main perpetrator of the coronavirus. Look at the history of coronavirus. This was the first discovery in the early 60s, and not much is known as to where they come from. Particularly, scientists now is talking about coronavirus that it comes through animal and it transmit to the human body. But why we are calling as a coronavirus? Because that virus is a crown-like shape, and that's why it is a coronavirus. Now, when coronavirus when coronaviruses are a large family viruses that usually cause mild to moderate upper respiratory tract illness. I mean, particularly common cold is a classic example of coronavirus. And this in 21st century, so far, three times coronavirus outbreaks have emerged from animal to human body. Now, come to the first is a MERS. Before coronavirus, coronavirus is a series of viruses, and this is a MERS, particularly that is a Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. There was this MERS is a viral respiratory disease caused by coronavirus. So this MERS, particularly in by 2019, there have been 2,494 confirmed cases and 854 deaths occurred globally through the MERS. This is a series of the coronavirus. Then there is SARS. We Indian people know that the SARS particularly severe acute respiratory syndrome in 2002 in China. That was again people talks about that China is important source for all viruses, and that was in China in 2002 occurred, and it spread worldwide within a few months. SARS, we know that, and even that time, the global community talks about how to manage health care system through different viruses. And there's a famous speech by Bill Gates. You must read, you must see the speech he has given in 2005, that he said that there is a possibility of in some kind of virus will come, and that virus will shake on the global community. So he used such kind of sources in his speech. Particularly, he knows that the SARS is a virus which can be a series of the coronavirus, and he elaborated in 2005. Then in 2019, the coronavirus. Again, before that coronavirus, there was a Ebola cases. Unfortunately, there was hardly any discussion on Ebola cases because that was in Africa, and particularly in Central Africa. So we all aware that anything happened with the elite class, then people take a cognizance, particularly to understand the issue. So Central Africa and African continent, there was a serious cases of Ebola cases, Ebola virus. Total cases is around 9,000. Total death is around 4,500. Again, those who are involved in a healthcare system, around 500 people died through the Ebola cases. Now, so this is a case of Ebola, and again, Ebola virus disease, Ebola, particularly as fever, you can find it in that, and particularly somehow global community come together, and that Ebola restricted in West and Central Africa. But this, and again, this Ebola virus comes to the animal, particularly monkeys, and spread to human population. So the human-to-human transmission than through the monkeys. Now, come to the history of chemical warfare, particularly what is the history when you talk about the chemical agent, because biological agent and chemical agent, these are the sources to understand the present situation. Then we will shift to the geopolitics and the international relation. Now, again, you have to understand the first time Athens and Sparta, they used the chemical weapons in 2028 BC. Then in 1782 AD, Swedish scientists discovered the blood agent. Then hydrogen cyanide uh, and arsen employed in the First World War, and then mustard gas and chlorine were extensively used in First World War by Germans at Ypres against French, particularly 650 tons from 31,000 cylinders the Germany used, and there were 5,000 dead and 10,000 dead people. That was the action by the mustard gas and chlorine. Then nerve agent developed from 1936 to 58, sarin, suman, taban. These are the agents also discovered in that. Then in 1919, Britishers employed mustard gas against Afghanistan, particularly India's western frontier, and then use of defiants by Americans in Vietnam jungles. So this is the a classic example by history of chemical warfare, and then use of highly secret chemical agent in Moscow theater to diffuse the hostage crisis in French forces. Then extensive use of chlorine and sarin in a Syrian war in a present situation. So here, what is important? Now, when we talked about the radiological weapon, again, through radiological weapon, we call it is that it's a radiological weapon is a dirty bomb. It is a radiological dispersed devices. It is so easy to use in a water tank. For example, if a SHIRPUR city has two water tanks and they are sending water, pure water to all its population, they will use the pipe bomb where they can drop a few kind of chemical agents in a water tank where 20,000 people or 20,000 whatever population in the Shirpur city, they will be disturbed through the different disease. So this is a different kind of weapon used by different country. So in future, there is no kind of direct war between one state to another state, but this kind of activity will be developed by country, by different actors, particularly non-state actors when we talk about terrorism. And this kind of weapon, they are not fission or fusion, not hydrogen bomb, not other bomb, but this is simple technology used by the terrorists for their purposes. Now, I'll come to the important issue. What is the post-COVID-19 global order? When I, in the initial discussion, I said that there is a new change in geopolitics. If you look at the present contemporary global politics, you can see that there are the three important strategic and triangle is emerging. One triangle is India, Israel, and United States of America. Second strategic triangle is China, Russia, and India. And third strategic triangle is India, Brazil, and South Africa. And look at all three strategic triangle. India is an important strategic player. Means without India, there is no completion of one single strategic triangle. So in short, there will be a paradigm shift in terms of economic capability, in terms of military capability, even in healthcare system, where India will play important role. But at the same time, while it is so easy for us to say that we will play important role in future, but look at the statistical figure of 7 states, particularly Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, UP, and other places, you will find that most of the population, they are staying below the poverty line. Particularly the migrant labor, they are switching over from one place to other places. And fortunately, from last 5 years to 6 years, if you go through the statistical data, you will realize that those population who are staying below the poverty line, their income is not increased that much, and they are the real problem. But in a post-COVID period, what is the setback for us that particularly post-COVID, most of the young population will lose their jobs, and most of the young population is in 7 state where we call it most of the population staying below the poverty line. So this is the internal matter in India's security point of view. Today, somehow, another 1 month, this migrant labor can manage their pain and cause. But in future, if they are not going to get a basic amenity from the state, then there will be severe challenges before us. Take an example of ideology in the name of Naxalism, where people are against the state mechanism in the name of basic requirement. But here, individual also use the same kind of technique, and that is a real challenge for India, how to manage internal issues, particularly in terms of migration. At the global level, uh, we may call it is that we can manage external relation, but internal means this COVID-19 has shown to us that without the education, proper education system, without your public health system, without your proper basic needs, nation state cannot play important role. Look at the Scandinavian countries and look at the developed countries. Having a weapons of mass destruction, US is the largest US trillion dollar, more than $25 trillion economy, but they lose healthcare system. Look at the healthcare system, the kind of healthcare system they have developed, and the kind of issues are there. But fortunately, here in India, we have managed our lockdown. And what is the beauty for that managing a lockdown? Look at the constitutional provision we have in India's constitution, particularly when there was a making of the constitution, but we look at the debates in a constitutional assembly debate, and there was a discussion about that particular Boss Ambedkar raised the issue that there should be a central government should be very powerful. Then other member of Constitutional Assembly Committee, they opposed to the Boss Ambedkar, and he said that don't make it a central government so powerful. And then lastly, Baba Ambedkar argued that look at the Indian population, look at the Indian regionalism, look at the regional identity, look at India's language and culture. After 6 months, there is a change in a pattern of behavior. So it needs a central government so powerful so we can manage or we can control the central entire population. And that is the beauty of Indian constitution. And that's why from last 2 months, we have managed successfully, we are managing the successful lockdown. But same thing will not continue if we are not thinking about the migrant labor, we are not thinking about the basic needs of the people. So I'm worried about this concern. What kind of possibility is emerging at a global level as well as internal? So external level, India may get a benefit of that particular market economy will get a benefit of that, but internal how to manage that. Then second, healthcare system, particularly healthcare system is emerging a important tool at a global level. Look at earlier the role of churches, role of mosque, role of all kind of religious authority. Now they are changing their roles. Particularly, everyone talks about the healthcare system, and each one is thinking about means earlier there was a religious authority, means whatever people talk, particular religious church says they, they are implemented by the people, or mosque says, or the other says. But now, what is important to the post-COVID, the scientific temperament is emerging at a global level. So each one is trying to only thinking in a scientific point of view, not a religious point of view. And that is a new change is coming up. And this is really important for us, country like India, where we have a huge amount of money with the all religious places, including mandir, mosques, and churches. And just 2 days back, former Chief Minister of Maharashtra says that if you want to come out with the post-COVID situation, we need to grab the all golds from churches or the mosque or the mandir, wherever they there, that is natural national property. We should come out that property, and uh, we can emerge as a global power. So what I'm saying here, healthcare system is an important tool where scientific temperament emerging at global level, and there is a sharing of ideas and exchanging their ideas to each other. Look at the from last 2 months, particularly China. Although people are against the China, but China is the only country who is supporting a 70% military, sorry, healthcare system technology to the Americans as well as the African and European states. Look at all ventilators. Most of the ventilator is built by Chinese, and they are providing to the Americans. Chinese is providing the Chinese pharmaceuticals companies. They are the second largest pharmaceutical company in the world. They are providing the most of the equipment, including medical technology, to the Europe, to the US, and that's why if what is the future? Future is each one will talk about the healthcare system, and healthcare system is an important component, and that has India has a positive side of that. Take example of our tribal women in tribal areas. They played a very important role as Daya. We call it as Daya in Hindi, but in Marathi we call it as Aya. The role of Aya, we all aware that even the tribal people, they are not going for hospitals for delivery. They have such kind of technique with them. If we manage to the knowledge system and build up the technique and develop one short course for a healthcare system, and online, if you sell that course to the global community, SPDM college will earn more than others. So that kind of, we have first and knowledge system with us, but unfortunately we are not converting or we are not managing that knowledge system, and that is challenge before us. So here, whatever we have alternative traditional medicines, we need to use that one, and healthcare system we have to boost that. That is the one aspect, and along with the military and economic capability, there is a importance to the healthcare system, and that is very important for us. Then I said there will be a shift from there is a balance of power will shift from collective security system to individual security system. Again, it is too early to say that there will be a balance of power will shift, but the kind of data is coming up. People are talking about China, and everyone is expecting that the Chinese company may come to the India, but that will not happen in India, because China is shifting its company, or the rest of the world is shifting a company from China, and they're going to the Thailand and Vietnam. Why Thailand and Vietnam? Because there's a trade war between China and the US is going on. If any American is want to buy any kind of Chinese commodity or Chinese company, if you have a trademark made by China, if you have that trademark on that commodity, then the tariff is very high. So to move that, to deviate the tax system, the Chinese company or the rest of the other company that transferring from China to Vietnam and the Thailand. And look at what we have a problem. No one talks about that. When FDI comes, they come with the dollar. For example, if any company is coming in Shirpur and they're spending $1,000, and $1,000 rate today, if 80 rupees per dollar is the rate of dollar, and after 2 years that company get a $2,000 benefit of that. Means the total earning is a $12,000. So how government of India will give the benefit? After 2 years, if dollar rate is 110 rupees, then they will get a 110 rupees. Means they will not get that much benefit. Whereas Vietnam and Thailand, they fix if today dollar rate is 80 rupees and above 80, whatever benefit is emerge from the or whatever benefit comes to the company, that will benefit goes to the that company. But in India, that is not the case. We are treating dollar investment on the day-to-day investment, and that is the main challenge. That's why Western company or the FDI is not coming in that way, and that's really issue related to FDI, and that's why that is my concern that we are expecting that China, Chinese, I mean, those companies may shift to the India, but that will not happen because Vietnam. Now look at the statistical data from Vietnam. Vietnam is the largest developing economy, is emerging at global level. Why? They have developed the system, and Vietnam is very close to China. They can easily through sea route or through surface route they can transfer their migrant their labor and technology from one place to other place. Then another important factor you have to understand why trade war started between India as a United States of America and China. The trade war started not only in the name of tariff. When Chinese companies, particularly in the field of innovation and technology, when they bypass to the US company, then US realized that now it is right time to stop the China, and that is the beginning of trade war between India, China, and USA in last April from April 2019. So sanctions declared against China by Americans and trade war as a result of that. So what I'm saying here, here geopolitics, we are looking at this angle that there is a possibility for India that India could get a good market, but technically we have a number of issues. No one deal that issue. What are the basic issue, particularly in terms of investment, in terms of medical equipment? Honorable Prime Minister declared about new packages, and he said that the new kit will come. But earlier, before that, we our Indian companies selling that PP kits to other companies, but new name is coming up. So what I'm saying here, we have potentials, but we don't have that kind of strategy. And in healthcare system, if you market our health traditional alternative medicine, and I gave one example of traditional tribal Aya's role and convert that knowledge into the online education tool, then we can play important role at a global level. But it needs a sharing culture. It needs a strategic partnership to each other. And unfortunately, Indian culture is not that culture where we can share our ideas and thoughts amongst us. Means it is very difficult to get information from our neighbors. So that is our mindset. So it will take time to accommodate that culture. But what in nutshell, what I'm saying here, there is the important of healthcare system will increase along with the military and economic capability. Then there will be a balance of power may shift from collective security to individual security system. But again, there is a question mark because individual has own limitations. If you develop a collective mechanism, then that's why entire education policy, new education policies talk about the interdisciplinary nature of courses, interdisciplinary nature of curriculum, where student or the faculty from science, social science, natural science come together, and they should uh, bridge the gap among themselves. So what I'm saying is that the individuals has a limitation, and what is the future of after Brexit, UK's future, we all aware that. But that is their perception, that is their understanding, and this understanding is really set back to the uh, rest of the world. Now, earlier I said US and China remain as a global power. There are two reasons why Americans are fail to manage healthcare system. Their constitution not allowed to president or declare unilaterally lockdown like us. Our prime minister can declare a national emergency or look at the constitution maker, particularly again, they said that the Baba Ambedkar played a very important role to frame a constitution in a such way where central government we can play important role. Look at the three important articles. People not talks on that, particularly Article 352, Article 356, and Article 360. These are the three important articles where government of India can take a decision to maintain peace and stability from Kashmir to Andaman Nicobar. So, and we can manage our population, we can manage our territory with in such way where we will not have such kind of problem. Take example of in future, if by declaring a 20,000 crore package, and in case if we are not getting a fruitful result and there will be an economic crisis in India, then President can use Article 360 and declare a financial emergency across India. But that will not happen in United States of America. Then look at the 352, particularly if there is a possibility of nuclear war against India by China and Pakistan, then President can declare 352 and Article 356, any regional or any state they wanted to separate identity in the name of regionalism or in the name of identity, governor can declare a state emergency with the recommendation of governor. President can declare a state emergency. Failing in the US because they have a different kind of right. Even when they have the concept of union state and state of union, there is a
त्यांचं इंटरनेट Sorry for the interruption, participant. I am trying to contact with our resource person. Some technical issue is there, I think. Their screen is ready sharing with us, but some audio issue is there. Sir, hello, sir. Participants, it is requested you to please do not enter in our room because it is 97 count right now and our resource person is out of the room. I'm trying to let him into the room. Just wait for 2 minutes only. टाइमिंग नहीं सबका आप लोग व्यवस्थित चल सर दूसरा नंबर साना
हाऊस पाहिजे विनारी बस एकदम पेज पहिले बोलते ना हाऊस पाहिजे हाऊस पाहिजे मला पण पाहिजे काय झालं
I'm happy to inform you that our resource person is now joined in our meeting. Sir, you are unmuted now. Yeah, you can share your PPT. Sorry, also. No problem, sir. It's technical issue. Yes, continue, please. You can share your PPT also again, or if it is okay, you can continue from here also, sir.
Okay, just a second. Yes, I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Sorry.
No problem, sir. Is it casual? This is casual. Everything can happen because.
Basically, what I'm saying that don't go through the news channel information that US is going to lose its hegemony in terms of economic capability and military capability. Most of the media is showing that how US is failed to manage healthcare system. So I said there are the issues to manage the healthcare system, but somehow they look at its economy is bigger than the China, and in coming future there is no threat to American hegemony in terms of economic capability or in terms of the other capability. So there is no possibility. Now in China, again, let me elaborate these few important indicators. What is the future of China? Just last week, we had an idea about the China-India at the border dispute. There was a crisis near to Sikkim area, Sikkim North sector. And that time, people talks about in future there will be war between China and India. We are sharing a border with China in is around 1 lakh, means 1 lakh plus kilometer area in 3 sectors, and we are managing from 89 to till date. There was not single bullet fired from Chinese side or Indian side to each other, but there was the issue of Doklam. There is a latest issue of China border dispute, and even Chinese sometimes they used the China border issue between with India to deviate media attention from international level. But somehow Chinese is managing that issue, and we are also successfully managing. So far, more than 13 plus round of border dispute successfully managing to each other, discussing the issues. And India is trying to resolve the crisis with China with the help of Macron line, whereas uh, Chinese, they are focusing on McDonald line. That is another line where they are focusing on the number of issues. But what I'm saying here, uh, people talks about one dimension, one side, which is a 21st century is Asian century. And if you want to Asian century, then you need to collaborate with China in a such way where China and India can maintain a parity with the economic capability, with the cultural similarity, and with the military capability. But it will happen? No, because the kind of our strategic partnership with the US and the rest of the world. And look at the China-Russia strategic partnership. Look at the China's and North Korea partnership, where North Korea and China is playing. Just even last few weeks, there was news about the North Korean President Kim on, and there was different narration given by American media. But last day he came out on media and he said he is a fit. So there is a one strategic framework Americans has developed, that there should be a collapse of North Korea, particularly leadership in North Korea should be collapsed. And then they wanted a unification of Korean Peninsula with the help of Japan, with the help of South Korea, and they wanted to have a capitalist democracy in Korean Peninsula. By 2030, they have planned, because the health of president of North Korea is not that much, and who will be the successor? His kids, his wife are not involved in a day-to-day managerial issue, but his sister is in a position. But Americans and the rest of the world, they have plan B with them, that through different support in the name of democracy, they wanted to disturb the Korea. And then again, there is an issue related to uh, uh, China. In China, there are six important issues are there. Take example of Hong Kong. Even in a COVID, during the COVID period and post-COVID time, there will be again hesitation will start by the Hong Kong people in the name of democracy. Then there is Taiwan. You have to understand that Taiwan is a republic of China, and China is a Republic of China. So Taiwan, China is saying that Taiwan is a territory uh, of China. Taiwan say it is a democracy country. And how we manage, means global actor manage with China and Taiwan. So somehow global community is trying to manage that one. But in future, Taiwan is a critical issue to manage ethnic and political stability of China. Then Tibet, look at the India-China border dispute. Tibet and British India had an agreement about China-India-China border dispute. Today we are talking about government of China is saying that Tibet is an integral part of that, and Tibet has no role now. So we will focus on our new policy with the Republic of China. So again, the Tibet has a problem. Dalai Lama, another issue. We all aware that the history of India-China war in 1962. Then Manchuria, Mongolia, Hong Kong, and Xinjiang province. These are the ethnic challenges. And if China managed these six indicators in a very simple way with the political vision and political leadership, then I don't see any kind of challenges to Chinese hegemony in Asia as well as the other places. So I don't think any change with it. So what my third argument is that there will be no shift in a global power, particularly US and China. Then lastly, which is very important, where digital economy and material economy will develop a gap and create a problem to the rest of the world. Those who has a capability to manage digital economy and material economy, where technology is important. Technology technology role will be important. But what about India's population? Look at the, if you start online education, those students who are studying in Akalpua or part of your SPDM college, are they, means we teacher are not familiar. Just few minutes back, I was disturbed by this new technology. So I'm means I'm sitting in a Pune where I'm accessing the technology every day, but I'm not aware of that technology. So mindset, a particular mindset of Indian population are not that much uh, that that much familiar with the technology, and that is real challenge. So in future there will be complete divide in unskilled labor versus skilled labor. Skilled labor, particularly techno-savvy people, and unskilled, those who are not unskilled knowledge worker, and they will be a challenge for our internal security, because in case, take example I said earlier, in case if we will not come out with, we mean the state will not come out with a proper plan, then there will be a disturbances by the same migrant, those who are managing their day-to-day issues from last 2 months. But in future, probably they may come on state, and that will create a problem to internal security. So this is the kind of challenges coming up in future. So post-COVID globe will be completely changed. It will take time. Our habits, day-to-day life will change. We will not meet like earlier in a marriage ceremony. We will not celebrate the birthday of our kids or uh, other relatives. We will not frequently meet to each other. Even we will change our lifestyle, eating habits. We will not order other places. We will not order food from other places. We will be very careful ourselves. Then, if anything happen, take example of now this new car is coming up, which call it is a driverless car. And if driverless car will come on Indian street, what will happen of the person who is sitting at a petrol pump who is filling the air in our uh, car? What will happen if you go across the road? What will happen the Anna's shop who is removing our puncture of car? So this kind of new technology, the jobs will be completely will go, and the new kind of jobs will come. So we have to manage that. So artificial intelligence, data analytics, then other issue will be a challenge for us. And lastly, in terms of in higher education, when we come to the higher education, then uh, look at the, we are organizing this meeting on Zoom, but Zoom is banned by, officially banned by Government of India. No one talks about what is reliability, sociability, or competition. Even while using our computer, when we are sharing a screen to you, you can access my all details from my computer. The cyber crime will increase. Those students, those people who are just simply using this kind of technology, they may have a difficulties to understand the new technology, and there will be a crime rate will increase, not only in India but across the globe. Then our day-to-day life will, how we need to change that life with the new circumstances. So earlier it was so easy for us to help each other, but no, now entire thing will change. So these are the local, national, regional, as well as global challenges before us, and we need to understand. So in conclusion, my submission is that while dealing with the post-COVID challenges, look at our fraternity, talk to each other, particularly in teaching field. We need to share our idea through technology means, but at the same time, we need to disseminate that ideas to the people who are not in the mainstream. And look at our status, particularly India's enrollment in higher education is not more than 25% of gross enrollment ratio. That is a GER. Now, GER again, that is the age of 18 to 23. The students who are enrolled in 18 to 23, they are not only, they are just only the 25% of total enrollment in higher education. Look at the history of higher education, Indian higher education system. we have only 7 decades of the history of our education, whereas Oxford, Cambridge, and other universities, they had a different history, different culture. In fact, their corporate life or corporate people, they supported to their university. Look at the coronavirus. The university, Harvard University, spending today what the 20 crore thousand package given by government of India, and 100 crore is given to the research to the universities. But look at the Harvard University. Harvard University budget is more than 25% of what government of India has proposed in a new package. So what I'm saying here, entire challenge, including education sector, including social sector, including economic sector, including peace and stability sector, each will change, and that will be our challenges and opportunity. I said there are the opportunity for us, but how, what kind of strategy we will implement in future, that will give a benefit to us. So with this word, I'll stop here. I'll be happy to get a questions from you if someone wants to question through webinar, or if you want to have any question, specific question, kindly write to email me. I'll definitely answer to your question. Thank you. Thank you very much once again for inviting me for this webinar, and I'm looking forward for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have enlightened, highly enlightened us with your resource lecture, so that we can understand the post geopolitics and global order. Now this is, dear participant, now this is, we are moving towards question answer session by our resource person. You can raise your hand, and you have to start your video also for asking the question. Those who want to ask question, they have to
विचारू शकता, ऐराणीत विचारू शकतात, काय प्रॉब्लेम नाही.
हाँ, नाही काही अडचण नाही.
आम्ही ऐराणीमध्ये पण बोलेल, काय प्रॉब्लेम.
डॉक्टर लेकुरवाले सर, Dr. Lekurwale sir, please continue.
Good evening, sir. It was a very nice session and very informative session, sir. As you are always an information for us, informative person for us. Sir, I have one question in this regard. What we were discussing about the post-COVID international politics. I have a question that is there any kind of bipolar, we are going to enter into the bipolar world system, one, and second, is there any chances or the world may enter into the new Cold War session in this particular new Cold War session? China and US might be the rivaler. I have these kinds of two questions, sir. Are we going to enter into the bipolar system, and China and USA, we are going to face again a new Cold War session, sir?
Hello.
Continue,
yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Basically, there is no possibility of bipolar security order, because France, India, Russia, and other stakeholders are there, and there is no possibility of only two order, India, in China and United States of America. But all Russians has the limitations. Look at the Russian population, look at the Russian military capability. Even US declared sanction on Russian against Russia in last April with the China. Then China also China is trying to collaborate with Russia in that way where they can play important role against the United States of America. Now there is one possibility. Now what is important here? There is one plan, and that plan they are thinking about, with the help of Japan, with the help of South Korea, and with the help of India, US can counter China easily. But for us, it is very risky in that way, because we are not only trust with Americans, our strategic partnership with Russia is very important. Our strategic partnership with Iran is very important. Our strategic partnership with Israel is very important, and our strategic partnership with all Arab world, including UAE. So even in the UAE, look at when we started a discussion on daily event after initial stage of COVID, we blame on the Muslim community. And when there was a one slogan came from UAE, but your king says that if you talk such ways that religious people are responsible, then we will throw out all OCI's card holders from UAE and other places. Then no one talks about kind of religious intervention in the coast. So what means that? It means that India is the only country across the globe where we have a different stakes with the different countries. So with Russia, we have a strategic partnership in terms of military capability. We have a partnership with Arab world in terms of labor, in terms of skilled manpower, in terms of different sectors. So we don't want to lose it. Take example of US. Our partnership with US is a strategic partnership in terms of nuclear capability. And with China, what is our benefit is that if you use the slogan of Asian century with the name of similarity, cultural similarity, and uh, economic capability and military capability, then we can say that we will rule the globe. So India is very focusing all kind of events and focusing on multilateralism. And from beginning, we are focusing on multilateralism. Although this is a temporary Cold War, I said earlier, neither US company will challenge Chinese authority in any other way. I'll, I'll give it statistical data. Chinese, in fact, China has given lots of loan to Americans, and I given my all details on YouTube channel that how US is planning to tackle the Chinese people or Chinese government has given a loan to US, and there is one plan is emerged that framed by the Trump administration that we should stop whatever amount was taken by China, we will not repay. But then again, the federal bank and other people say that if we did, then the value of dollar will come down. So that's why there is no second plan by US to tackle the China. So what I'm saying here, China, you will not only just blame on media, and you not just blame on if you ban a commodity, Chinese commodity, that will not come out because Chinese economic capability, Chinese military capability. And let me tell you that in present context, everywhere, China, look at the Africa, entire Ebola virus controlled by the Chinese medical technology, and they are everywhere. That's why World Health Organization is cautiously making a statement when it comes to China. So China, you just don't think in that way that you can easily make it a statement and you control to them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Lekurwala sir, please mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. I am moving to Dr. Anant Sharma, please. Dr. Anant Sharma, you can ask your question.
Hello, I am audible?
Yes, continue, please.
Okay, good evening to everyone. First of all, I would like to congratulate the entire organizing team. My special thanks to Dr. Bhakkad and the entire organizing team for this 5-day webinar series. Really, the themes which are being selected for this conference is really contemporary. So I am thankful. I am thankful.
Ask your questions. Please.
Yes. Sir, Professor Khare, thank you for this lucid session. Sir, I just want to know what is your stand on India-China relation after post-COVID-19 and how we will be dealing with the diasporic communities, Indian diaspora. So please, sir, if you can.
Let me go through first question about India-China relation. I said earlier, we never had any single bullet fire near to border from last several years, from 89 onwards. Whereas with after Kargil and present up to till date today, we have series of fire, means violation of ceasefire by the Pakistani. So India-Pakistan border is different than the India-China border, whereas we have a 1 lakh plus kilometer area border with the China. So Indian government and Chinese government knows its potential and strength, potential strength as well as weaknesses. So, and Chinese strategic vision based on 2040, up to 2040, they don't want to any war with anyone, neither trade war nor direct war with anyone. Even in Doklam, they took back their position and they said, okay, we will manage. So that is their stand, and they are very in clear picture. But I said earlier, Chinese military power or economic power is based on 6 indicators. How they manage these 6 event issues, particularly Hong Kong, Tibet, Manchuria, and other parts. So that all that will be a signals to us. If they manage successfully, then there is a possibility of in Asian century along with the India, China, and we are just taking care of that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And sir, what about the diasporic community? How will be responding to the diasporic community?
Diaspora community is playing very important role so far.
Hello.
Hello, I am audible. Hello.
Yes, continue, sir, please.
Yeah, diaspora community is playing important role.
Sir,
but
I am audible, sir.
Yes, continue. Please do not interrupt us. Yes, you are on. Yes, continue, sir. Correct, sir.
Diaspora community is playing important role, but after post-COVID, entire thing will change. Most will come back, but there is they in the health sector and education sector, it will remain as is. So I don't see any challenges to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Please mute yourself, Anand sir. Thank you. There are so many hand raised right now. We receive many questions in YouTube live also, live chatting, but we could not accommodate all. So this is our last question, as our session is already extended 30 minutes. Already extended 30 minutes. So I just move to Dr. Sunil Bhaviskar, sir. Please continue.
Hello.
Yes, continue.
I am audible, sir.
Yes,
I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Khare sir, congratulations.
Bola sir.
Khare sir, really good session. You told in lecture that China and America will remain world powers. And my question is a little political, sir. What more measures should be taken by Prime Minister Modi ji to save our place in world after COVID-19? Means, is Atmanirbhar Yojana is one of measures, sir? You just focus on that, sir, please.
Can you, sir, can you repeat your question? मला जरा मराठीत सांगा तुम्ही काय म्हटलं तुम्ही?
एकदा रिपीट करा सर. भाविस्कर सर.
भाविस्कर sir, can you repeat your question? हाँ sir.
Some audio issue is there, Bhaviskar sir. Can you please repeat the question? No, some connectivity.
Hello.
Yes, please repeat your question. Okay. Sir, we have many questions in our chat also. I just read many questions. So from the chat, I will share some. I will take some question from our chat also. So where is the chat? Dr. Praniti Rani madam. Dr. Praniti Rani madam, please ask your question. Dr. Praniti Rani madam. Yes, continue ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes ma'am, audible.
Sir, I have several questions, 2-3 questions I have already written.
Okay,
but,
please.
My question is related to the speech, the lecture that you have given. you said that the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra was talking about that the jewelry and money should be taken from the mandirs, churches, or whatever places it is donated. Can it be taken as in the national interest?
Very good question. Very good question. I was expecting that one. Very good.
And one more
I
thing.
really
One more thing, sir, I would like to add here. 2-3 days back, I read in the newspaper that Tirupati Balaji, they have dismissed 1,300 workers from there who were working at one of the guest houses, which was maintaining 300 people there.
Okay. I understand. I understand.
Why Tirupati has taken this kind of a stand, moreover when the crisis is so hard?
Okay. I understand your question. In fact, it was a bold statement by former Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So far, any political leader has very few political leader has that kind of courage to come up with such kind of policy. You all aware that there is a temple called a Padmanam temple in south, where entire your poverty line, below the poverty line, people can come out with the mainstream. That much money we have, but we are not opening up with the religious offering. There is a challenges in that. This property is a national property, and to convert that property in a national capital, we need a political leader in that way. But I don't think present government or present any government will challenge the religious authority to anyone, because it has the limitations, it has plus and minus issues, and contemporary, I don't see anything that this will happen. Number one. Number two, the temple, Balaji temple board or authority, they have removed labor. It is not happening there only, everywhere, because earning is now, nothing is, earning is going down. So each one will think about their management with the economic packages. But let me clear one thing. What best thing is coming up from young minds? Now they are asking questions that where is a authority, particular religious authority? Where is a God? Where is a God, and why God is not coming out and giving a result? So each new generation is asking of scientific temperament with the scientific approaches, and that is a positive side. Means all mandir, masjid, or you can say temple, mosque, and churches, they are locked down. And students at the age of 15 plus, they are asking, what is the use of that? Look at the one very good film. It's, WhatsApp is circulated. A person who is dying through the corona patient, his body without any religious activity, this body simply they are putting in a fire. So it means there is no religious. So then they are asking, then why earlier it was happened? If the infected body is in such way, if we are giving a last paying the tribute to the person, then why earlier we had a separate kind of religious one? So each religious authority is giving a challenge, and that is the best part of COVID. I'm really happy that this has happened with the scientific temperament, and it's not only in India; it's all over world. This scientific temperament is emerged with the healthcare system. That is a plus side of the post-COVID. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your question answer session.
Thank
It is 5:45 right now. We have joined since last 2 hours. Thank you very much. Now
I have one question.
Yeah, yes, sir. Please ask, sir.
If you allowed, and correct, sir.
Please, sir, continue.
Sir, US has objected a role of WHO. WHO, whether it is sincere for China, what is the role?
Sir, first, WHO is not a new body. It was a old body, and each state has their stakes in them. So it is a collective security system. Why suddenly Trump and his team is blaming to WHO, reports are not in their favor. Means it is so easy for them to blame on China. Means now if same WHO can raise the point of finger with the on US that without weapons of mass destruction, how multilateral forces attack on Saddam's sovereignty. But that is not a purview of WHO. WHO is a multilateral body where they are coming with the facts and figure. And unfortunately, some extent, the person is from African, and Americans, they thought that he is favoring to the China, but that is not the case. I don't have that kind of courage to say that 100% is right or not, but what reports is, because I have gone to the different international institutions and agencies, and they have their own culture, own work system. So there's no question about to hide anything. And I said earlier, coronavirus is not new thing. It was in 1960s, and this is series of viruses. So it's not one virus is just only emerged in a one lab. That was the spread, not controlled by Chinese authority. But earlier it was a MERS, SARS, and we were victim in the SARS virus also. And after SARS, the look at the, you just go to the YouTube and listen Bill Gates' speech on that. What he said that he said that in future there will be a such kind of virus will come, entire globe will be shaken, and he said that you need a proper healthcare system. And look at the Mumbai. From last several political years, several political parties came in power. They wanted to convert Mumbai into Shanghai. But look at the healthcare system. Just recently, one report came in that 5 lakh people, for 5 lakh people in Dharavi, only 350 toilets. Can you imagine what kind of they have a natural things they're doing every day? Means they have shown those clips on TV. Within a fraction of second, means there is a huge queue on toilet, and then if you within 1 minute you have to complete all your natural duty. That kind of culture we have. So where is the healthcare system? Where is your basic needs of the people? And that is a question are raised by each and every individual state, and that's why the individual matters, individual dignities matters after post-COVID, and that is a real concern for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for vote of thanks. I request co-convener Dr. Kamble sir to please do the thing.
Okay. आज के वेबिनार में रिसोर्स पर्सन डॉक्टर विजय खरे सर, इन्होंने समय निकालकर हम सभी को पोस्ट कोविड जियोपॉलिटिक्स एंड ग्लोबल ऑर्डर इस विषय पर महत्वपूर्ण मार्गदर्शन किया। इसका फायदा रिसर्चर्स, रीडर और अन्यों सभी को होने वाला है। वेबिनार में मार्गदर्शन करने के लिए मैं डॉक्टर सुरेंद्र कामरे महाविद्यालय की ओर से प्रोफेसर विजय खरे सर, इनको धन्यवाद देता हूँ। इसी तरह से हमारे संस्था के अध्यक्ष, किसान विद्या प्रसारक संस्था के अध्यक्ष तुषार भाऊ रंधे, साथ ही चीफ गेस्ट एमसी मेंबर विवेक लोहार, महाविद्यालय के प्राचार्य डॉक्टर एस.एन. पटेल सर, इस वेबिनार में सम्मिलित हुए सभी मान्यवर और ऑर्गेनाइजिंग कमेटी, साथ ही टेक्निकल सपोर्ट कमेटी, इन सभी का मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ।
थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, can you send me the link?
Definitely, sir. I have recording for whole session. I will send you, sir.
Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Dear participant, now it's time for our activity, online activity. So today I am giving you one activity. Only 100 participants I will consider for this activity. So which is first come first serve basis. Very first visit our college website. There is a link for activity PPT. You can download our activity PPT file You have to put your photo in that particular file slide. You have to write your name. You have to write your college name. You have to provide your email ID at the appropriate space. And these things you have to do today. I will let you know what are the other slide, what are the other activity you have to do for the particular award. I will let you know tomorrow. So with the permission of our principal sir,
Okay, sir.
I will close the meeting. I am now thanking our resource person sir, our convener Dharmadhikari madam, co-convener Kamble sir, and our all technical team. Signing off, Dr. D.D.Bhakkad. Thank you.